Okay, sir. Can we start now?
Just okay, you can start.
So, good morning, sir. We heartily welcome you in this small talk about software engineering.
Okay, thank you.
So, sir, firstly, I would like to request you to introduce yourself.
Okay, so I am Vivek Rajyaguru. So by profession I am software engineer, and I carry experience of around 6 years in software development and work across various companies. So uh, around four, 3 to 4 companies, and currently I am working in CSG International, which is based out in Bangalore. And skill wise, mostly my most part of my career was based in Java, Spring Boot, and all those Java related technologies. But now, from past 2 years, I have added few skill set like Angular, CSS, JavaScript, and all those stuff, and DevOps also. So that's it from my end.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So, sir, my first question will be that can you provide an overview of your software development process?
Okay. Uh, so basically, I worked in a product based company. So software development differs based on which type of software you develop. So as I mentioned, so there are two types of companies in IT domain or software domains. One is product based and another one is service based. So in service based, mainly it revolves around client demands. So client will ask for particular feature, then uh, one of the guys could be a business analyst also, or a developer can do that role as well. So it takes requirement from customers, then frame it into stories and feature in uh, work management tool called Jira, and from that it ask developers and all the grooming meeting happens, and then development cycle starts from development. Then once development is done, then unit test case are written. Then so once that unit test cases are done, then testing happens, and then deployment starts. So and this cycle continues, like if some bugs or anything comes up, then the whole cycle repeats. Then again fixes happens, then unit test case happens, and testing happens, and this cycle happens. So this is for service part. In product part, the ownership of software lies in the hand of a company, in hands of the company. So what happens, that requirement comes from company, not from the client. Yeah, we company do take feedbacks from clients that what are needed and all those, but ownership of the product remains with the company. So requirement comes from business analysts, so who are expert in that particular domain. Let's say banking domain, there are various domains for which uh, software development happens, like banking, then telecom domain, then finance domain. Now you might have heard about that stock market app like Zerodha and all those. So there are n number of domains. So expertise comes up, and they suggest requirement and new features. And once that requirements get framed, then stories and features get listed in Jira board, and then development starts. Then unit test case, then testing, and all those stuff happens.
Okay, sir. So one more thing we want to know that what kind of software projects does your company typically undertake?
So I currently I'm working on that CSG International. So it is mainly in a telecom domain space. So It's mainly a telecom software. So, in brief, uh, you might have heard about the internet service provider, right? A GTPL or Geo Fiber or something of that sort, or a cable operator for the TV and all those stuff, landline connection, BSNL. So behind the scene, that that operator uses specific type of software to maintain the records of their customers, and update is as per needed, right? So suppose one of the client done a recharge of 300 rupees, for example, then they need to update into, they need to keep the record, right? And they need to available that particular talk time, then data and all those stuff. So to do that, we are preparing a software for them, your internet service provider. So it is called BSS, billing system service. So there are in telecom domain, there are mainly two types of products happens. One is OSS, that operating system service, which works on operating side like 4G, 5G and all those stuff. And uh, we our company works on BSS, that billing system service. So we help clients in especially service provider in maintaining customer billings and all those stuff.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. The third question will be that how do you manage and organize your software development terms?
Terms or teams, I guess.
How? Sorry, sir. Teams.
Yeah, so basically, first of all, whenever a project, whenever a new project comes up, right? So first of all, complexity of that project gets checked upon. How much complex that project is, how much business logic it involves, and based on that, number of developers and number of tester, project manager and upper management, the higher like vice president and all those departmental heads and all those, they involve in a discussion, and they come up to the conclusion that this many developers will be required, this many testers will get required, and this many scrum master, mostly scrum master involves only one basically, or a project manager can also do that scrum master role. So that's not mandatory that every project have that scrum master. So after that particular thing, a new hiring uh, can also be done, or from existing set of developers and tester, their projects can get changed and they can be incorporated into new projects. So that's the new scenario for a new project. But for existing set of project, suppose there are 5 developers in existing and there are 2 testers, but now suddenly uh, two more clients comes up. So suddenly the weightage of the team gets changed. Like now, what happened? Development features will get increased, testing will get increased. So to do that, manager and similar that upper management comes up to a conclusion that this particular project needs more number of resources. So they either from other team they uh, take a few developers and tester, or what happens is that new hiring gets can can get created. So that way team management happens. Or one more thing, suppose there is a legacy project going on, right? So in old technology, you might have heard about servlet and all those studs and EJB and all those stuff. So uh, because once there is one rule of software engineering that if it is running, then they don't try to change much. uh, so in हिंदी what we can say in a funny way, अगर कोई कुछ चल रहा है तो उसको छेड़ो मत. तो तो उसको ऐसा मतलब वो है, तो उसको छेड़ो मत। तो अ, तो उसको ऐसा मतलब वो ऐसा ही दे carry on for 10 to 12 years or many more years for that old technology. And you all know that technology upgradation happens every 6 months or 1 year. So what happens that at some point of time either their product has to be deprecated, like you might have heard about Windows 10, right? So it was running uh, as required, but they have to come up with new things, right? So their support gets cancelled. Now they won't entertain any issue or fixes related to Windows 10, especially Microsoft. So uh, these type of things happen. So what will happen that these developers and testers are either of that previous technologies. So either they need to upgrade their skill set for upgradation of this particular software, like to migrate this particular software into new technologies. So the existing set of developers needs to get trained for new technology, or a new developers gets hired with that existing set of the required set of technologies. So this is this is these three scenarios happen for team management.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Vidya. My ID number is 22DCE055. I would like to
I
just
think your voice is breaking, Vidya.
are there 1 minute?
Hello, Vidya.
Can, can you two hear, Vidya?
I'm audible.
Yeah, but your voice is bit low.
1 second. I'm audible.
Yes, now audible.
Are there specific software engineering principles that are particularly followed in your company?
Yeah, so mostly, uh, mostly all, more or less all principles will get follow, but not in terms of what you are studying, right? That not in that particular sequence, I can say as well. Let's say requirement gathering. So requirement gathering happens at initial phase only. That's the thing. But let's say documentation. So uh, it's not necessary that documentation happens after that requirement gathering phase or before development. It can happen after development as well, because uh, at the end, client, we have a set of deadlines to deliver it to client, right? For this particular, what we can say, PI or quarter, or on a weekly basis or a monthly basis or quarterly basis, depends on that particular client, or a release cycle in a product based company. So uh, to do that, like we can tweak it with documentation. So uh, quite a few times it can happen that development happens first and documentation gets delayed or gets created after that particular feature is been developed. Then development you happens. That's the thing. Then uh, related to database and all those stuff, ER diagram and all those stuff. Uh, as I mentioned, it is same as the what I mentioned in documentation. So ER diagram and all those stuff gets created after the feature development as well or before. So it can be tweaked in few ways. Then development testing, then bug fixes and all those things happens. But what you learn, what currently you might be learning, and I have also learned that in academics it is told that first there is requirement, then documentation, then development, then unit testing, and then integration testing. Not sure everything happens on this particular uh, in a particular cycle or particular sequence. It can be weakened because client for software to work and for software to earn money, client is the top priority and the client deadline is the top priority, so it can be tweaked in that particular way.
Thank you, sir. Uh, Krupa, I have a question.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So you make softwares in your company. So my question is, after software is prepared, what kind of problems do you have? Do you face?
So uh, there are many things like development. So first of all, what can happen is like development is done, right? So it is not necessary that development happens to the pinpoint accuracy, right? Whatever it is needed is there. There might be few scenarios that gets missed. So this is where testing comes in picture. So once development finished, the tester test it in a thorough way, and they try to break the software in whatever possible way they could. Let's an example in log. Suppose there is an input field in HTML which accept numbers, so they will try with alphabet, alphanumeric, special everything they will try to break it. And so that's good for a company or a software. That's a good thing that they try every possible scenario and break this particular. So due to that, what happens? So if there is something missed by developers, then it will get highlighted by testers. So bugs will get raised. So they will tell that these are the particular things which is not working as per the required scenario. So there are in testing there are mainly two types of thing. So they will uh, yeah, it will have an input field and there would be an expected output. So when they particular uh, try to input that particular character or something field, then expected output should be this. If that doesn't happen, then it is a bug or something needs to be gets changed. So bugs will get raised, then we need to work on that particular bugs and making sure that the while solving that particular bugs, other functionality won't get hampered, won't get hampered or doesn't get break. So otherwise what will happen that while fixing one bugs, two will get created. So this cycle will go in the dead loop kind of thing and delivery won't happen. So these are the things we need to make sure that bugs are good, but we don't have to break other code or other functionality while resolving that particular bug. So this is the one main thing which we face lots of time after development.
So what is the feedback of today's session and how is your experience to talk with us?
Yeah, it was really nice, and it was good to see that you guys are and this type of session is been conducted by your institute to know that how software engineering uh, happens in at corporate level. Because from my experience, there were a lot of doubt when I was in academics that this is not needed, why documentation is required, and why all this stuff and all those stuff. But once you try to interact with industry people and all, lots of your doubt gets cleared, and you see a picture of yourself represented in future, like you would be working in this particular thing. No, no, I'm not saying in that particular company or something, but you see yourself there, that I can also be so working like this particular person or a kind of stuff. So it, a sort of inspiration also will get, it can inspire every individual. So that's the thing.
Okay, so thank you so much, sir, for giving us your valuable time.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.